Welcome. Hello, English speakers. Welcome to another hour of English instruction, another opportunity for you to use your English and improve your English here on the world's #1 website for language learning. It's verbling.com. It gives you a chance to use your English to communicate with native speaking English teachers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How amazing. So hello everyone. My name is Geoff Watson. I come from Vancouver, Canada, and this hour we are going to be reading a story. We are going to be reading a story written by a native speaker for native speakers. And so I'm here to help you with all of your questions so that you can not only understand the story, so that you can, not only so that you can improve your English by reading and understanding the story, but I'm hoping that I can help you to enjoy the story. The story was written by a woman who unfortunately lost her husband. He died, and she believes in the supernatural. And this story is full of useful vocabulary for you. And so I have posted the direct link for the document. It's from the website Chicken Soup for the Soul, chickensoup.com. I hope that this link works for you. I have not been able to upload the document that I prepared to the Verbling website. The technicians are working hard on solving that problem, but I have the document here. And as people are joining, I would like to put on the screen share just to tell people that here in the Verbling classes, we ask that everyone keeps their microphone muted unless they are speaking. And you can do that easily by clicking on the button here on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Just turning the microphone on and off as you are speaking. You can also access your microphone button below your video image. That's very easy to do. And so this is, that's as easy as it is. Today we're going to be reading, understanding, and talking about the story. So welcome everybody. I would like to get started on this story. We have 1,000 words of real English to read and understand. So I'm going to bring the document up onto the share screen. And let's get to work. And so what I would like to do is to say hello to Rafael. Rafael, are you there? Hello, Rafael? We cannot hear you. And so I'm going to go on to Jose Ramon. Are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Yes, welcome. So could you please start by reading the title of our story? Do you
Yes.
see it? Yeah, thank you.
From Chicken Soup for the Soul, Message for Heaven.
Yeah, and please continue.
The Unforgotten by Terry Elders.
Okay, and just if I can review for everybody, Chicken Soup for the Soul is the name of the series of books. There have been hundreds of these books. Very, very successful series. They have sold hundreds of millions of copies. Each book is a collection of stories. This collection of stories is about messages from heaven. And the specific story that we are going to read is called The Unforgotten and is written by the person who experienced the story, Terry Elders. All right, and could you please read the quotation by Albert Einstein?
Yes, the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. Albert Einstein.
All right, I think that's a fairly clear quotation, fairly straightforward or relatively easy to understand. He loved the mysterious things, the unknown, Albert Einstein. And so could you read this first part of text for us, please?
Yes. I've never been much of a believer in the supernatural, but my late husband, Ken Wilson, definitely was. Thought he disdained stories about zombies and non-mice.
Mummies.
Mummies, yes, or werewolves and vampires. Tales of physical phenomena thoroughly mesmerized him. For years, he had collected books on astral projections, parapsychology, therapy, hankies, and possessions.
Okay, excellent, excellent work. I'm going to help everybody with lots of help with the pronunciation. So this is a typical story that has lots and lots of vocabulary. And so, okay, let's start. So, this is a woman. Her late husband believed in the supernatural. He was a believer in the supernatural. Now, he didn't like stories about zombies, mummies, werewolves, or vampires. Now, how are we doing here? I hope people have got their Google Translator working. So we have zombies, mummies, werewolves, and vampires. Okay, so he did not like that. He disdained. Yeah.
I understand the words, but reading is a little bit difficult.
No problem. I totally agree. Yes. Now, but he did enjoy. Oh, wait a second. Yes, good. But psychic phenomena thoroughly mesmerized him. So he loved psychic phenomena. All right, and also he collected books on astral projection, if you're familiar with that. I'm not really familiar with it. Parapsychology, telepathy, hauntings, and possessions. So how are we doing? Any questions or comments at this point? And I want to make sure that everybody knows that you're very welcome to just turn on your microphone at any time during the class and say, Geoff, I have a question. Excuse me, Geoff, I have a comment. And because I want to get as much participation from all of you. So how are we doing? Uh-oh, there's no answers. So what kind of man was this Ken Wilson? Could somebody? Yes.
A man who believes in too much in zombies, mummies, the all of these stories.
Okay, now be careful because he disdained stories. That means he hated them. So he did not like the traditional stories about zombies, mummies, werewolves, and vampires. So he hated that. But what was he interested in? He was fascinated by it.
Supernatural.
Yeah, like what?
Like psychic phenomena,
Psychic phenomena.
astral projections, parapsychology,
Now, okay,
telepathy.
so yes, great. Now, I would separate hauntings and possessions from this list. So I'm going to put them in blue. This is perhaps more just my personal opinion, but I'm just having problems with my my Word document here. I would separate hauntings and possessions. Does anybody else agree with me? Are people familiar with parapsychology, psychic phenomena, telepathy? Can anyone put those subjects in their own words?
I can understand, but
yeah. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I can understand what possession means, but I don't know what hauntings. It's,
good.
It's meaning.
Okay.
It's a different. It's a different. I
Good.
think it's possession from one spirit or something
Yes,
like that.
Absolutely. But haunting is very similar. Fabio, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was thinking that the word paranormal could summarize
Good.
the meaning.
Good. Okay, good. Right. As opposed to, what is a haunting? What does it mean to haunt? What are we talking about?
Phantom, ghost.
Try to capture
Sorry, Amparo?
Ghosts, phantoms.
Ghosts. But what about them? What does haunting mean? This is a verb.
Capture.
Yes? Well, not to capture them. No, that's hunting.
No? Okay.
To hunt animals, that's the verb. To chase after something and try to capture it. So those are the ghostbusters. They're hunting spirits. What is haunting?
It's about ghost.
Yes.
Similar to ghost. No more. Ghost.
What are they doing?
When they appear in
Sorry,
some place.
Abdallah?
When the ghosts appear in some places, like in old castles, they are
exactly.
haunting.
Okay. Yes. So you say there is a haunted house, or to use Abdallah's example, a haunted castle, because a ghost lives there. So if a ghost is living somewhere, it is haunting that place. All right. So there's sort of paranormal or psychic powers, and also he sort of thought about people being possessed by spirits or places being haunted by ghosts. But he didn't like those traditional stories of zombies, mummies from Egypt, werewolves, or vampires. Okay, so let's move on. Great work, everybody. And so I'm just trying to figure out where I started here.
Sorry, Geoff.
Yes, go ahead, please, Rafael.
Why do you apart those haunting and ghosts from the others? Why?
Well,
is the reason?
Well, does anybody else share my opinion? Telepathy is, I think, reading other people's minds. For example, if you're a psychic, you can predict the future. So does anybody else see those as being separate? And I'm not asking you to support me. It's just, this is your opportunity to make a short statement in English and practice your English. Amparo?
Yeah, I think because all of them are like more science
Okay.
with a support with more science, different to haunting or possession that is without
Yeah,
any
so
substance.
I think now I don't agree that they have been proved scientifically, but people have tried to study things like this scientifically. Yeah, exactly. And what is telepathy? What are psychic powers? This kind of thing. They're sort of supernatural powers of the human mind. I think that's different than the thought of that there are ghosts or spirits or evil demons possessing people. This kind of thing, and then certainly different from the traditional stories of vampires and werewolves and mummies and zombies. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
just yeah. But I'm just this is an opportunity for us to practice our English and just make some comments about the story. And so okay. And so Jose Ramon, and I'm going to go to Jawad Mohammed.
Hello.
Yes, hello, welcome. Could you please
Hello, how
read
are you?
this paragraph for us?
Yeah, why not? He subscribed to Fate magazine and read it from cover to cover. And aside from westerns, his favorite movies was Ghost, with The Sixth Sense running a close second. Ken didn't espouse any particular religion, but I have always felt that if there had been a spiritualist church nearby, he would have been a regular. A
Okay,
few years
sorry, I'll get you
ago,
to stop there. Thank you. This is not a common word to us, and actually I'm a little unsure. Ken didn't espouse. Oh, I'm very
suppose
sorry.
means
No, but I'm trying to remember the correct pronunciation of this word. I didn't notice it when I read the story. Now, this means he did not tell people that he had a particular religion. He did not state, say, or mention sort of this idea. I'm going to look up some synonyms. To advocate, to promote, to embrace, to support.
To support.
Yeah, so he really did not belong or support to a particular religion. All right. But what are some of the other pieces of information in this paragraph? And please, just any small piece of information. What are we talking about here? And this is a lot of North American culture here.
He subscribed to.
Yeah. Go ahead, please. Amparo?
Okay. He subscribed to a magazine and he read everything in that magazine.
He read it from cover to cover.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with this magazine, but Fate has to do with destiny. It has to do with a predetermined future. All right? So reading a magazine from cover to cover is a good phrase. It's used often in English. All right? Could someone else give me another piece of information? What else did Ken enjoy? Yes, Rafael?
His favorite movie was Ghost. This film is about ghosts and the other life, and
yes.
a guy who died and become to another field of the life.
Yes.
Even though he didn't.
Sorry, just let's continue with the movies, though. There's more information about the movies that he loved.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, with the Sixth Sense.
Yes. Okay. So Jawad, so he's saying his favorite movie was Ghost, and the movie called The Sixth Sense was a close second. All right. And I don't know if people have seen those two movies, but they were very, very popular. And again, I think The Sixth Sense had a lot to do with phantoms and ghosts and life after death and communicating with the living and all this kinds of things, right? But what other movies did he like?
Western.
Yeah, Westerns. Okay, so aside from Westerns, his favorite movies, so it sounds as though he enjoyed Westerns the most. He loved them. But aside from them, his favorite movie was Ghost, and The Sixth Sense was a close second. People understand that? All right. And what was she saying about his religious beliefs? Or yes, Abdallah?
Yeah, I think he said that he or she, I don't know, he said that he would go to a spiritualist church every day if there would be.
Okay, yeah. Please continue, Abdallah, but he would have gone.
Yeah, he would have gone to a spiritualist church
if there had been one nearby.
Yeah.
Now, this is a good opportunity for everybody to see English grammar in action. Okay.
Yeah.
So she is saying about her husband. So the person writing the story is a woman. This is the wife.
Good.
Ken is her ex-husband who died. So was there a spiritualist church near their home?
No.
No, there wasn't. But hypothetically speaking, if there had been a church nearby, he would have gone regularly. He would have been a regular at that church. So it seems as though his religion was spirituality. He really believed in that. All right, so great. Any questions before we move on? Okay, so let's keep going here. Ismail, hello. Could you read this for us?
Hello, Geoff. A few years ago, Ken was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he took the news with astonishingly good humor. I am ready to visit the other side, he said, and then proceeded to regale me with yarns about how he had come back to haunt me and both of his beloved dogs.
Please continue.
There is no good reason not to believe in an afterlife, he explained. Harry Houdini did, Arthur Conan Doyle did, and I do too. I'll find a way. I may not communicate directly, but I am certain I'll be able to let you know I am still around and thinking of you.
Okay. All right. And so, what's the story now? Well, I just want to help you with the pronunciation of humor. Humor. Now, to regale is not a common word. I'm going to put it in red, actually, because I don't recommend that you practice that. Yarns is another word for stories. To regale someone, I believe, is to tell them stories. Okay, so to entertain or amuse someone, to delight someone. Okay, so he tried to entertain her with stories. But please, if somebody could rephrase the information here that Ismail has read for us in their own words. If anybody has questions. Yes?
Well, when the doctor said that he had an unhealable cancer, and he told him that he will die, and he didn't care of it. He just made a fun of it and said, "I'm ready to visit the other side."
Okay, right. So he took the news that of being diagnosed with incurable cancer, that he was ready to move on to what he believed was the next stage. Good, thank you. And yes,
also
go ahead, please.
I am afraid because I think he's at the end of the paragraph. He's saying that he is going to make some visit, some kind of visit.
He's going to visit, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, and he was kind of what was it? He was sort of joking, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, sorry. So he was going to visit. Now, who? The wife?
No. The king is warning us.
No, sorry, but who was Ken going to come back and visit?
The wife and the dogs.
Yeah, so he wanted to also visit his beloved dogs. Yeah. All right. And who is Harry Houdini?
He was a famous magician.
Yes. Yeah, a magician, we would say. And also, he was a legendary escape artist.
Mm-hmm.
He could put himself in amazing situations and escape from them alive. Yeah. Oh, okay. And who was Arthur Conan Doyle?
He was the author of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
so
a writer.
A writer, good. An author of all of the Sherlock Holmes novels, the original ones. So good. And Harry Houdini was an escape artist. All right. And they both believed in, sorry, I'm having trouble navigating here. There we go. They all had trouble, they all believed in being able to come back from the dead. All right, so let's keep going here, sorry. And Hanin, could you please read this for us? Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Richard late. I don't know what's about your class.
Yes, the text is on the screen, so just don't do anything too spooky.
To what?
Well, yes, I'm sorry. We are reading the story, and I have the text on the screen. I have a link in the chat box so that you can access the page of the document. So do you see the text on the screen share?
Not yet.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is move on, but thank you. Welcome. And so, Fabio, could you read this for us, please?
Yes, of course. Just don't do anything too spooky, I pleaded. I don't want holes and squeaks coming off the walls of the bedroom. You know what a scared cat I am. I didn't sleep for a week after we watched the Blair Witch Project. I wouldn't want to frighten you, baby, but I do want you to remember me and that I'm not completely gone. My body might not be there, but my spirit will be.
Okay, so I'm gonna get you to stop there. Thank you. So, spooky, spooky. Anybody know what that is?
Creepy.
Yeah. Sorry, Amparo.
Creepy.
Creepy. Oh, that's a good one. Yes. But then that's hard to understand too for many people. So spooky, creepy. What's the simplest word? Scary. Good. Scary or frightening. And spooky means also sort of strange and connected with ghosts. Yeah. And howls and squeaks.
These are the sounds that some ghosts do when they
Well, not really the squeaks. Well,
the howls.
Yeah. So
only the howls.
a howl is the sound made by a wolf. Ow!
Yeah.
So that, or dogs howl as well.
Yeah.
But we say that ghosts make that sound as well. And what are the squeaks?
Squeaks. Sounds or no?
Yes, a squeak is a sound.
Okay, but coming off
And
the
it's
walls.
it's quite a good
From
word.
doors, from doors, all doors,
Yes.
or furniture that is old,
Yes,
like
exactly.
made of steel.
So you use oil in the door hinges to get rid of the squeaks. That's the and sometimes when you're walking on the floor squeaks. So this is the thing. Also, mice squeak. The little animals, mice, they squeak as well. But we're talking about the floors squeaking, the doors squeaking. Right. I think this is what the situation is. Who's a scaredy cat?
A very frightened person.
Good. Someone who is easily frightened.
Frightened, yeah.
Do people know what the Blair Witch Project is?
A famous movie.
Yes. Yeah. Why was it so famous?
Because they said that it was based on true stories.
Oh, okay. Yes. And but there's something else very unique about that movie, the Blair Witch Project.
It was some kind of documentary, wasn't it?
Okay, it was filmed as a documentary. I think that that's what Fabio was talking about. It was not only was it based on a true story, essentially it was like a documentary. But how was it filmed?
It's in black and white only.
Sorry, I just need people to say, hello, Geoff, I have a comment. Rafael?
I think it's made in black and white only.
Oh, now I'm trying to think. I don't remember. I don't think so. But is there someone else who remembers?
The characters filmed the scenes by a single video camera.
And I think the movie was filmed with a video camera, with a handheld video camera. Yeah. So it was a very successful motion picture made for very little money. And I really think it was filmed with a handheld video camera and made to look very realistic. So we were actually watching the film made by the people involved in the horror story. So great. All right, and so why did he want to come back? He didn't want to frighten his wife.
He just,
yes,
I think he said that because he didn't want that her wife.
His wife?
His wife should remember him.
Yeah, he wanted his wife to remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he was not completely gone.
What a lovely husband, yeah.
Well, all right, yeah, great. Okay. So, and he was determined, what was his promise, sort of back here. What was he going to do? What was he going to try and do? The text in green, and I'd like to just, everyone's got a few students who are really doing a super job, but just we've got some other students who I haven't heard from. Could someone who has not spoken yet highlight the text in green?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Maggie.
He said that he may not communicate directly, but he was certain that he would be able to let her know he was still around and thinking of her.
Great. So not going to communicate directly, but somehow to let her know that he was there thinking of her. Great. Excellent. And so I'm going to keep going here to, Amparo, could you read this for us, please?
Okay. The morning he died, I thought about what he'd promised. I heard that recently widows often feel the presence of their departed spouse in the corridors, but all morning our house felt completely empty as I wandered its rooms and hallways, wondering if I'd ever find the energy to clear Ken's clothes from the closets.
Okay, I'll get you to stop you. And so, any questions about vocabulary? Remember, everyone is welcome to turn on their microphone to ask a question or make a comment. Yes, any comments?
Yes. What
Yes.
are widows?
Widows. Does someone know?
The wife of the dead man.
Yes, and so thank you. In this case, it is the woman is now a widow because her husband has died, and it's now in English now. I think we have different words. We have a widow and a widower. One is for a woman, one is for a man. So in this case, a widow is a woman whose husband has died.
Okay, thank you.
No, great. Thank you for your question. Someone else with a comment? What is she talking about? What is a spouse?
Husband, another term for husband.
Yes,
or
but then, yeah.
wife.
Yes, good. It's a general term for either husband or wife, spouse. Corridors and hallways are very similar words in this context. And to clear Ken's clothes from the closets, she needed to do that eventually when she had the energy and time. So let's continue. He has in as far as the story, she is talking about the morning that he died. All right, and so let's talk about let's continue. Sorry, and Abdullah, could you read this for us, please?
Yeah. Then that afternoon, the dogs escaped. The young man who had come to mow our lawn absent-mindedly had left the gate open. Ordinarily, when the pair broke loose, they would be gone for hours, but this time the dogs dragged themselves home in less than 30 minutes, and though they usually head for the river and a swim, this time their fur remained completely dry.
Okay, great. I'll get you to stop there. Thank you. Okay, so what happened? Anybody with some comments or, of course, questions?
The dogs ran away when the young man that mowed the lawn left the gate open.
Excellent, good. So the dogs ran away, exactly. How many dogs are there?
I suppose that the two one.
Good, there are two.
Go, yeah.
The pair.
A pair.
A pair refers to two. And what was strange about the situation?
That they usually go to swim to the river.
Good. Yeah.
But this time they didn't.
Exactly. And there was another thing that was sort of strange.
Also,
yes?
when they come back, the dog come back, their fur remain completely dry.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, that's what Maggie was talking about. They didn't go for a swim like they usually do. I guess they love swimming in the river. And then there was something else that didn't happen. Yeah, Abdullah?
On that day in question, they came too early. I mean, 30
very
minutes.
Early.
Very early. Sorry, very early.
They came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were usually gone for hours. But this time, they came back in less than 30 minutes. Okay, ooh, what's happening here? Okay, so let's continue. And I'm going to go back to hello, Roseli.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, welcome. Could you please read this for us? Nonetheless, yeah.
Sure. Nonetheless, they both plopped down on the tiled entryway, acting as exhausted as if they'd swum the English Channel. They stared at me with the most sheepish expression that a pair of canine faces can assume. I suddenly believed Keen had tracked them down, caught them, and sent them home. Moreover, the house no longer felt so empty. His spirit had returned.
Okay, thank you. Let me help you with plopped. They plopped down, tiled, canine, like the number 9, canine, assume, and scolded. So, what are we talking about? A sheepish expression. This is very common in English.
Really, I don't know what sheepish means.
Yeah, does anybody understand?
She looks like a sheep, very kind, or a little shy, like a sheep.
Okay, now thank you, Rafael. It's shy and calm like a sheep. Not really. Not really. Yeah. Now I'm going to turn off the screen share here. I'm not necessarily very good at a sheepish expression, but it's kind of like this, where you are guilty. You feel guilty and you feel bad because you've done something wrong. So the dogs looked very guilty. Oh, I'm sorry. This kind of idea. Sheepish expression. What else was strange? And what did she believe happened?
They probably the dog saw the spirit of the king's spirit.
Yes, absolutely, great.
And he, oh my God, how can I say that?
What does to scold somebody? Yes,
to tell them off, maybe.
Yes,
Is it
to
the
tell
same?
them off. Yeah, that's perfect. To tell
behave,
someone off.
to behave angrily or to act angrily and how do you say that? To shout at somebody?
Yes, good. To tell someone off, to shout at someone, to say, you two dogs, you ran away, you bad dogs, you get back home right now, you should not have done that. So to scold somebody is that. Perfect. Okay, so Ken's spirit had tracked them down, scolded them, and sent them back home. All right. Great. So they were looking very sheepish. They were really exhausted. They plopped down on the tiled entryway. So they just fell down on the ground. Yeah, that's the story. Okay, and the house no longer felt so empty. Okay, so let's continue. And let's go to Rafael. Could you read this for us, please?
Yeah, perfect. Not long after, a writer, an editor, a quittance launched a new career as a physicist. He knew I'd been recently widowed and offered me a telephone consultation. He told me that Kant's spirit indeed was present on my property, and that it frequently walked around the backyard with the dogs. I believe. That's why Natty, who was particularly attached to Kant, lies out there for hours, looking blissfully thrown out. he especially demands to go out at twilight and
Good.
comes in only reluctantly when I'm ready for bed.
Okay, good. All right, so more more interesting story here. Let me help you with the pronunciation. Acquaintance,
Acquaintance,
psychic,
psychic,
widowed,
widowed,
free, frequently,
frequently,
and twilight. You corrected yourself. Twilight.
twilight. Yeah,
And who is Natty?
One of her dogs.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So, some questions about the vocabulary.
Yes, what is sound out?
Zoned out. Yes. But and it's important in this case to add the word blissfully. What does bliss refer to? If you're doing something blissfully.
That you are happy.
Exactly. Extremely happy. And I guess I'll have to try and look zoned out. It means empty-headed, so kind of zoned out. So the dog was just kind of laying there, blissfully zoned out. That's the idea. So what is she thinking is happening in that case?
She was looking at her husband.
Right. So the dog could see Ken's spirit. Yeah. And what about this acquaintance, this person who she knew, who was a writer and editor?
I think, I think the man is specialized in, let's say, detecting ghosts. Maybe?
Yes, good,
Psychic.
perfect. He started a new career as a psychic. Yeah.
And he offered her to phone him and get some advices from him.
Yes, okay. And what did he say?
And he also said that her husband's spirit is indeed on the property, so on the house.
Yeah.
And it's just walking around the backyard with the dogs.
Okay. So it was a consultation, a psychic consultation, and he was able to confirm that yes, with his psychic powers, he could see that Ken's spirit was indeed, yes, in fact, it was true that Ken's spirit was on the property and that he was spending time with the dogs. And she noticed different behavior in the dogs. Okay, great. Let's keep going. And where are we now? And so, sorry, it's Maggie, I think it's your turn.
Yes, Ken had reminded me of how demons are able to contact people from beyond. I don't think I've ever heard that the magician managed to succeed, but twice in the couple of years since Ken's death, I found books overturned from the case that's
adjacent
to my writing desk in the family room.
Okay, and so wow, what's happening here? According to the woman who's writing the story. Anybody? And then we've got questions. Yeah? Go ahead, Maggie.
Yes, that Ken reminded her of Houdini's could contact people from beyond.
Okay, right. Well, he promised to do it.
Yes, but he wasn't successful, I think.
Well, yeah. Right. According to the woman, she never heard that he was successful. Maybe he was, but she didn't know.
Yes.
She had never heard that Houdini was successful. But what about the bookcase? What had happened?
That she found it. She found them overturned
Right.
in the desk.
So, right, a couple of years after Ken died, she found some books overturned. So they had fallen. Maybe they had fallen on the ground right next to her writing desk. So they had fallen from the bookcase. So which books? Let's find out. And so, Jose Ramon, could you read this for us?
Yes. The first incident, about a month after King's death, involved overtumbled graves by Jess Walter. King and I met this Northeast Washington writer when he came to our local Colville library to give a talk. King had accompanied me when my book Grog died.
Sorry, go ahead.
With Walter before his presentation. This was a book King had read and an author he had met. I silvered as I set the book back in place.
Okay. Shivered.
Shivered.
And accompanied.
Accompanied.
And over tumbled graves. Tumbled.
Over tumbled graves.
All right, great. And so what about that first book? What's the story behind the first book?
The first incident about the month after King's death,
right.
Involved.
Sorry, I just want to help you with Ken. Ken. The pronunciation.
Ken.
Yeah.
Ken.
Okay. It happened a couple of months after his death, or about a month.
After his death, in his grave, symbols if the stone or not.
Yeah, no, sorry. What is over tumbled graves? What is that? I've highlighted it in blue. Anybody? Yeah, sorry. It's the name of a book.
Yeah. It's the name of the book.
Okay. And who is it written by?
Jess Walter.
Okay.
Jess Walter.
Jess Walter is the author. All right.
Yes.
And what's special about this book? And what's special about the author or the writer?
Ken and his wife met his Washington writer.
The writer?
Washington writer.
Yeah, so they met him. And Colville is where they live.
In their own village. In their own village.
He came to visit their local library. I guess
local
they
library
live,
and they live in their village.
Okay, fine, yeah.
To give a talk.
Yes, okay.
To give a meet.
All right, and what does to shiver mean?
To tremble?
Yes, to tremble.
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 Yes. To shake.
Shake.
So if you're cold, you shiver. All right, but in this case, she shivered. Why?
She was frightened. Yeah, she was frightened.
Okay,
frightened.
Something was a little spooky when she saw the book. Okay, so she thought, uh-oh, this is Ken trying to communicate with me. All right, and then, about a year later, what happened? Let's go on to Ismail. Could you read this for us?
Yes, Jeff. Then about a year later, I spied a second book on the floor, apparently knocked loose from the same bookcase. This time it was Faith Kellerman's The Forgotten. Both of us had been fans of this novelist and had frequently discussed her mysteries. I couldn't help but reflect on the title of this particular book as I tucked it back into place. Some time had elapsed since my husband's death. Could he be sending me a message from beyond, that he worried I had begun to forget him?
Good. And just to help you with begun, I had begun that form of the verb. Okay, and so what is the forgotten?
The Forgotten is the title of the novelist Rafael Kellerman.
Right, right. And specifically, this is the second book that she found on the floor.
It is.
All right, great. Any other questions or comments?
I had a question. Does to tuck mean to place it again, or?
So this is to tuck back into.
Yeah.
To tuck back into place. It's a phrasal verb, and it means to put it back into place.
Okay.
But it means that if you tuck something in, it means that you can imagine in a bookcase that with lots of books, there's a small space. So what you need to do is you need to put the book back into a small space. So that's to tuck something in.
I see. Okay, thank you.
It wasn't easy to put back into place. Exactly. All right. So let me see. Let's move on. And Amparo, could you read this for us, please?
I'm not certain I'm ready yet to declare myself a believer in psychic phenomena, but this is the kind of spooky coincidence that can adore. I always doubted there's any literal heaven populated by angels and filled with harps and fluffy clouds. But Ken was convinced that some aspect of the human personality or mind survived death and continues to exist on the spirit plane. As for me, I always believed in the power of prayer. So that night I said a special prayer for my very special late husband.
Okay, great. All right, and so what is the writer, what is the woman telling us here? And sorry, just for everybody, psychic. Yeah, psychic. And that pronunciation, psychology, and yeah, psychic. Phenomena. So does she believe now in psychic phenomena?
Yes.
No, no, but be careful.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, do it.
Yeah. No, but she said yes. Does she believe?
On and off.
Sorry, Jose Ramon?
On and off. Yes or no.
Well, okay, yeah. Not certain. She's not certain. Not yet.
She's doubting.
Yeah, she still doubts it, but she's not certain that she's ready to declare herself a believer yet. But you know, those spooky coincidences. This is what we talk about. People, you know, Ken loved those. And people understand this very typical representation of heaven in North America, anyways. Heaven filled with angels, all playing the musical instruments, harps, and there are beautiful fluffy white clouds. Yeah, okay. Okay. And so let's continue so we can finish the story. Abdullah, could you read this for us?
Yeah. I ask that he be guaranteed that he is not forgotten. Not now, not ever. I prayed he would be reassured that his portrait still hangs in our bedroom, and informed that I have also put up the framed maps of ancient Britain that he never got around to displaying.
Okay, and so he will not be forgotten. His portrait?
His portrait, okay.
What is this?
His picture?
Yeah, and it might be a painting of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. And some maps of ancient Britain. He was going to do that, but he never got around to it. So she has actually finished some things that he wanted to do. So he will never be forgotten. And let's keep going so we can finish this. And I'm just going to stay with the people. Roseli, are you there? Okay, and Rafael, could you go ahead and read this for us?
Yeah. I add that I wait around his Asian lilies the next afternoon and sprinkled them with their repellent. I vowed that on his birthday I'd haul down his special ceramic cup and pour him a brandy Manhattan and place it by the lilies. I wanted him to know that I think
of something special? Are you there?
Oh, yeah, but I can see.
Okay. Let me finish it. Of something special to commemorate him on what would have been our 10th anniversary. And so I think we'll have to add, we'll have to end the story here. But Asian lilies are flowers. He must have planted them in the garden. She's protecting them from the deer who will eat them. So she uses deer repellent, and maybe this is sort of a very Mexican tradition to remember someone and serve them something that they really enjoyed on what would have been their 10th wedding anniversary. And so let's leave the story there. So thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed the story. All these stories are full of vocabulary and expressions that we native speakers use every day. And so first step to work out the vocabulary and identify a little bit of the grammar. Are they talking about the past or future? Then, do you understand the story? And then, after lots and lots of practice, you'll be able to read stories like this and enjoy them. So, great work, everybody. Excellent, excellent participation.
Thank you.
And I'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for the class.
Good work, everyone.